Welcome, listeners. Today's special bonus episode is brought to us by executive producer Dan Haig. Thank you, Dan, for picking the movie that
great name.
Another Dan will reveal at the beginning of the episode.
It's true.
We really appreciate all of our patrons. If you would like to find out how you can be an executive producer, head on over to patreon.com/totesrecall.com. Thanks, Dan. Other Dan Haig. Just to be clear, Dan Haig is the only Dan that's getting thanked on this podcast.
Thank God.
And we thank you profusely.
We do.
Thank you. Totes Recall.
Ooh, welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we can't remember very well for a myriad of reasons, and then we pause our recording, we eat pizzas and salads, and watch the movie, and then we have returned now. It's the second half of the show, and now we have seen the movie and remember it, we hope, and we talk again and analyze film and our lives. These are the days of them. My name is Dan.
This is Molly.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie, this very special bonus extra-sode, is The Witches.
Is this a real movie?
Yes.
I was very worried. A little behind the scenes, I nailed it. I was very worried I was going to say The Viviches, since
Different movie.
talk about The
What?
Vivitch all the time.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but I like it.
Yeah.
And that is spelled with two V's.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
also
Presented
a
with two
very
V's?
different movie.
Yeah.
So this is not The Witches of Eastwick.
No.
No.
Okay. And it's not
The
Hocus
Witches of
Pocus.
Westwick.
No.
No. This is a different witches movie about
Is it
witches.
a new Witches movie?
Sort
No.
of.
Well,
I have not seen this movie.
Has
do
anyone?
you want to take a stab at what the movie's
Ooh,
about?
Yeah, you do.
I would love to. Is this a future nominated segment
Oh, sure.
brought to you by Aria and or Pepsi Cola?
Yep.
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 Season pre-call.
Barks Root Beer presents 60-second
ooh, I love a Barks. It's got
Yeah, we all love a Barks Root Beer. No, wait, they haven't paid for it yet. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Wait, so just to be clear, just Dan is doing this. Molly cannot also do it because
Molly
she...
is welcome to interrupt Dan and take
Oh.
his space away
This
from
is a
him because he
dream.
is a man who
We'll do as a
deserves to be.
team. I'll soak up 40 to 50 seconds worth
Yeah.
and then turn it over to Molly.
That sounds great.
Perfect.
It sounds like how things go.
And Molly will get paid only 70% of what Dan gets paid for these 60 seconds.
Right.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Molly, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, and go.
First, the one thing I know about this movie is Anjelica Huston is in it. Now, there are witches. Let's say there's 3. That's the number that there are witches of. They look like Nosferatu.
sisters.
I know that too from a splash screen I saw somewhere. They are bad, and they're getting children. There's a bunch of children in the town, and the witches pop out from behind doors and get them. They steal their organs and turn them into candy,
30
which
seconds.
they then sell to the adults in the town
What?
to take over their brains. And in the end, the children win, but a surprising number of them die along the way. It's darker than you think it is. And over to Molly with further comment.
And there's a love story.
10 seconds. You have 10 seconds.
2 of the teens, the older teens, fall in love, and they move into a gingerbread house and live happily ever after.
Time. Great.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Wow.
it. This movie sounds amazing. I
Can't
think
wait to
most
watch
of it isn't in the movie, but
Hey,
hey.
Do all 4 of us not know? Have none of
No,
us
I've
seen
seen
this
this movie.
I
You
have also
have?
seen it.
But I've only
Yes.
seen it once when it was, I don't know, a theatrical release and I was a child.
In what year do you think you saw that?
My God.
Yeah.
I was pretty young, so I'm going to say 1990. 93 arbitrarily.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think?
90. Oh, that's a good year. 94. I'll go with 94.
Sure. So you were, what, like 3 months old when it came out?
I would have been 5 years old in 94.
Okay.
I
This
think this
movie
movie came out in 91, Dan. Thank you very much for giving me space to say
Is
that.
this real? You know
Is what
that
real?
for a fact, Dan? Or are you guessing?
No, I'm saying it with
thinks.
the confidence of a mediocre white man. Which
Molly, you want to get in on this?
I'm going to go 1992 because that's the year I graduated from high school. And I figure this is the last movie I would have been interested in watching that year. I would have been way too cool for it. Did it come out like a Halloween time? Was it
I
like
don't
one of
know.
those?
I don't
Okay.
know.
You know what, though? There's actually no time in my life I probably would have seen this.
Wow.
Okay.
Are
well,
you
I mean-
anti-witches?
No, I think witches are fun and cool, and I like the show Charmed, for example.
Have you watched
But-
it recently? Because you might not like it.
Oh, really? Oh,
still
no,
on?
I might not.
You definitely wouldn't like
Is
it.
there a lot of like toxic masculinity?
Oh yeah, it's like
Oh.
like they are running around constantly, not knowing what to do. It's terrible.
No.
Yeah,
And like
Maybe the
sacrificing
new
cats
Charmed
to each
has
other?
more agency.
yeah, that could be. I don't know. I haven't seen the new Charmed, but the old Charmed is very much based around like, trying to charm men.
Oh,
Oh.
wow. Well, okay. Well, don't trust my memory on that either. But no, typically I don't love horror movies or scary movies. And like honestly, I think the only witch movie that I've seen is The Witches of Eastwick,
I don't know what that
which is so old. It has like
It's
Bette
really great,
Midler
and you would
maybe
love
is in
it.
It is.
Uh,
And they eat a bunch
who
of
is in that?
cherries. It's 3 famous women, and then like Jack Nicholson maybe.
Sure.
Oh,
And they,
Sharon that?
yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not the movie we're watching, but I think Cher's in it.
Anyway, Witches of Eastwick I could talk about.
Well,
But
too
the
bad,
witches,
because our EP, Dan Haig, chose The Witches.
Is this
Well-
like a fun family movie, or is this like a horror?
Ostensibly. I mean, it is for children.
It's
but
based off of a Roald Dahl
Roald Dahl
book.
book, which means that it has some darkness in it.
Sure.
Because Roald Dahl... Is it Roald?
I don't know how you
Roald?
actually
Roald?
Roald.
Can you shout up to your English boyfriend and ask him how to pronounce his name?
Oh, Roald
I'll
Dahl?
ask him before the second half,
Thank you.
and I'll have the pronunciation ready to go.
Yeah, so this is based on one of his books, which means it's probably darker than other things that are meant for children, based on most of his material.
It's dark material, am I right?
It's a different author and a
but
different...
also children's books.
Yeah.
But also, maybe that guy isn't, problematic in the later views
Yeah,
of the world.
Rolling Dahlman is
old Raleigh Dolly.
Monsterman.
I think he was just like really anti-Semitic or something. I can't remember. I'll look into it. Dan's bet, Roald Dahl was very anti-Semitic. I'll look into it before the second half and tell you why he's a bad person.
Okay.
He is an interesting person for sure.
Wow.
He-
Misunderstood, you're saying?
Well, I'm not saying he's misunderstood. I don't know about the anti-Semitic part, but I do know that he became a spy
What?
at some point after World War II,
Ooh, is he
during
James
World
Bond?
War II.
I was gonna say after,
And
That's
he was
get late
like-
to the game.
I think this is something I think that I learned from drunk history, so who knows how accurate it is, but he would like seduce women to get war secrets.
Oh.
Ew.
Isn't that
Honeypot.
crazy? Also, when I was a kid, I had to do a book report where we read a biography,
Okay.
and then we had to make a puppet. And I read his book Boy. And I made a puppet of Roald Dahl and did a presentation.
Wow.
Was the presentation like a autobiographical?
No,
That is
my God.
revealing what I presume is the puppet.
that's
very
not
scary.
real. What is happening?
The puppet
is
of
my-
the story.
Okay, this is a very visual thing that I'll probably cut out of the audio podcast, but I'll keep it for the YouTube
Please
channel.
do.
Here's my Roald Dahl puppet
Oh
that I made.
my God. Oh, it's so
Wow.
terrifying,
Hate that.
but also adorable, but
That's
terrifying.
good.
I don't know how. I think I was in elementary school for sure. But he
Good
kind of has
job.
a terrifying clown mouth.
Yeah, it
Yes.
But look at his bald head. That's great.
That's
is
well done.
really
That is
well
a
done. Is that-
well-rendered
Is
bald head.
that paper mache?
I don't know. It's like hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems
So-
like
Please.
paper mache.
Please tell me you didn't have to get that from your parents' house.
Maybe I stopped by my parents' house to pick it up because I knew we were watching the witches.
Wow. Meanwhile,
But I
I
thought-
rolled up here like
I was like, why else do we keep these things if
Yeah.
not to share on podcasts?
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God,
Share
that's
all your
amazing.
puppets on podcasts. That's
Yeah,
the Totes
really.
Regal challenge for this week.
wow.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. My microphone fell while I was doing that.
Yeah,
so.
because you were so excited about getting that puppet
I
on
got
there.
real excited about it. I drove to the suburbs to pick it up.
You're,
Wow.
Beth, I don't say this lightly. You are a true Cresthorn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Oh, Hank coached me well.
It's amazing.
I hope Hank Cresthorn was the one who came in and taught my class how to make butter.
That'd be amazing.
I just don't remember it, but he lives in my psyche somewhere.
Yeah.
That would
He's
be
there. He's
incredible.
with us all.
Yeah, he looks down at us from
Yeah.
puppet heaven, puppeteer
Oh.
heaven.
There's
I didn't know he's
probably
dead.
No, he's not dead. He's just like
He's just
Isn't
in
he a
heaven.
ghost?
he built puppeteer. He built puppet heaven, just like he built that elevator shaft in Speed. And then he just hangs out up there because why wouldn't he?
are the alluding to my earlier bet, and speaking of puppets and costumes, there's some cuckoo bananas costuming and prosthetics in this. Is that true?
Yes,
The witches
Yeah.
are scary.
They're
There's
really
monsters.
disturbing.
Yeah.
There's this movie was remade recently and
Oh,
is
yes.
available on home box office.
Maximum.
Oh, that's what I saw.
Home box
Maximum?
office maximum.
Oh my gosh, the witches in that are even scarier than these witches.
Wow.
Disturbing. Anyway, yes, they're upsetting to look at.
Are the witches sisters?
I don't know.
Molly's bet. Witches
They're-
are sisters.
They're
bet
definitely
it-
in a committee. There's a lot of witches.
There's
Oh,
a
there's a lot of
committee.
They're at a conference.
A covidity?
A conference?
Yeah, they're at a conference
Like a
of
witch
witches.
conference?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, Jaquette's bet Vegas then, or Salem.
Are there any sandwich jokes?
Ooh.
Maybe.
Okay, Molly's bet there's a sandwich joke.
I love that.
I don't
They're-
understand the
Writing that down?
connection between
Dan?
sandwiches and what we're talking
Dan, are you
about.
writing that down? Are you writing down sandwich
Okay.
jokes?
Witches, sandwiches,
Oh, I get it.
and
Okay.
children. It's good
Children
bait.
love sandwiches.
They love sandwiches.
Everybody
Think
loves
about it.
sandwiches.
Okay, well,
Unless you
British
don't.
children love sandwiches.
Okay, right. Cucumber
Oh,
sandwiches.
does this take place in England?
I have no idea. I just assume it
Oh,
does because
probably
it's a
not Vegas or Salem, then.
Roald Dahl book.
I
but who
don't
knows?
think the movie does.
Okay.
don't
Never
know.
mind.
I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't remember. Yeah, there's a whole deal where the only things I remember in this movie is that there's this whole thing where for some reason the children know what witches look like or know what how you know what a witch is or how do you identify a witch. And there's this very specific scene where they are watching the witches hanging out because they all come into this conference center, hotel, whatever, just looking like normal ladies.
Yeah.
But then once they're in alone,
Kind of like Stepford Wives kind of
yeah,
ladies.
yeah. You know, and Anjelica is just very, ooh, I'm so confident and I'm just a classy lady.
Is
but
she
then,
the keynote speaker at the conference?
I believe so, yes. I believe
She's
she is the keynote.
head witch.
Okay.
So, yes, she's the keynote speaker.
Yes.
This is
They got
sounding
cool
like
totes?
how
The giveaway?
I hope so. I hope there's swag bags, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a table at the entryway.
But yeah, there's definitely a specific scene where the children witness them taking off their glamours or whatever to look like normal women, and they recognize all of these very specific things that you can identify a witch with, none of which I remember. Beth, do you remember what they are?
I feel like maybe they have claws.
I thought it
Wait,
was
it's how
something to do
you
with their feet,
tell-
wasn't it?
Like a
hooved
witch
feet?
that
Or
looks like
something,
normal?
or their toes are weird. Wasn't
Oh,
that
yeah.
one of them? They have
Don't
weird toes.
they have
or
3
something?
toes or
Whoa.
claw. I don't know, like talons or something.
Yeah, but there's like a specific, like almost montage of like the witches like revealing themselves and like basically like going down this checklist that I think at least one of the children, for whatever reason, just knows off the top of their head.
Because his grandma had an interaction with a witch when she was a kid, and so she's terrified of witches, and she tells him all these stories about witches and what to look out for.
Gotcha.
And then she also has diabetes, and that is a big plot point.
It is?
Yes.
Ooh, get ready for that.
Wow.
But it's yeah.
I was just going to say, I know for sure I did not see this as a child, because if I watched this as a child and they gave specific instruction on how to identify a witch, I would have memorized it and actively used it my entire adult life.
Yes.
So I definitely have not seen this. Is this going to have like a Star Wars vibe where you want it to be about aliens and supernatural things, but mostly it's just like Senate committee meetings?
I don't think so, because I feel like it mostly follows the kids, so it's mostly them being like, oh no, we're in this building full of witches.
Why are they in the conference center?
They're also staying, they're at the hotel.
I think it's just at a hotel. So they're just at the hotel.
And but when they witness the witches taking their gear off, they get turned into mice.
Yes.
Oh.
And so there are mice running around this hotel.
Mm-hmm. And
wow.
then they have to, I don't know.
Honey, I Shrunk the Children.
Get their shit together so they can stop being mice.
Yeah. And then maybe at the end there's like a really cool like Rube Goldberg machine thing that they get to run around in.
That's
that
fun.
might be around the new one, but I don't remember.
Did you watch the new one?
I did watch the new one. It's worse than this one for sure. Because what's her face? Anne Hathaway is the keynote speaker, and I just have a hard time with her performances.
Wow.
Sorry, Anne Hathaway.
Wow.
Well,
shots fired.
There goes our
Shots
chances
fired.
of ever getting that last $3 we need to decide the Wikipedia question.
Oh no, I didn't realize she was the last person.
Anne Hathaway was a known totes head until now, I guess.
Are you serious?
Just waiting for us to do the Princess Diaries or
or the something else.
Sad French songs.
Oh, The Devil Wears Prada.
Sad French songs?
Yeah.
Les Mis?
Yep, that's the one.
Oh my God.
She's in that, right?
Yeah, she's in that.
Okay.
Wow.
Watch it and tell me it's not sad.
I can't believe that you got that from Sad French songs.
I mean, I was trying to think, like, what movies are Anne Hathaway in? What could possibly be what Dan is talking about?
Wow.
That fit the bill. Fit the bill.
Fit the bill. Are the children are trying to just get away, or they're trying to like blow up all the witches? They got to plant a bomb or something, blow up the hotel.
They have to do something specific to kill them, right?
I think so. I'm gonna. Dan's bet. This is like a head vampire situation.
Oh, they got something.
I'm gonna say there's a head vampire situation where they specifically have to take out Anjelica.
Okay.
Yeah. Do they feed them soup?
I don't know.
I love that.
Maybe a potion in a soup.
I honestly just remember them having weird feet and the kids being like, "Oh no!" And then there's like 3 or 4 other things that also identify them as witches, and that's all I remember about this movie.
So witches are like in this world, they're like a folklore, I guess, like in our world, right? But protagonist grandma has like seen them and knows for sure.
Yeah,
we're following what, siblings around?
I think it's just a kid and then somebody that he meets at the hotel.
Ooh, meet cute.
Oh,
I'll double down on that.
Promising.
That'd be fun.
Maybe a girl that he meets
I hope
at the
there's at
hotel?
least one girl of the children, right? We hope that.
Ooh, do you think that one girl will talk to another girl? Not about... I bet this does pass.
I mean,
the
the witches should pass it, right?
Yeah.
Right, if
Like they're not going to talk about dudes the whole time.
I mean, they
They're
do
like,
talk
oh.
about kids, but I don't know if that counts.
But if they're talking about like
obsessed with
spells,
children.
yeah, there's got to be
101,
some
or,
just like patter when they first get there. Like, oh, did you read the latest Potions Monthly?
yeah, like how to harvest frog eyes or whatever.
You take this tote.
Yeah.
Here's your swag bag.
Tote.
Would you
Broomhilda.
like a water bottle?
Thank you.
Or hand sanitizer.
Yes.
Ooh, pointy teeth.
Is that one of
That
them?
one? I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Beth's bet, pointy teeth.
Yeah. Okay. So weird toes for sure. Something about toes. It's more specific than weird, but I don't remember what it is. I just remember there's like a specific shot of one of the witches like taking their shoes off, and their foot looks weird. But it's like in stockings, so it's just like shaped weird.
Striped stockings with a.
I was just going to ask.
Great
homage
question.
to.
I hope at least one of them is
Wizard of
wearing
Oz?
striped stockings. Yeah.
I'm going to bet there's going to be a homage to the Wicked Witch of the West.
Related to that, I'm going to bet at least some of the witches are going to have great hats. Just spectacular
like
hats. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily like explicitly pointy witch hats, but just great hats.
Sure. Witches love hats.
Witches love hats. That's canon, right?
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah. That could be a panel at the conference.
Oh, yeah. Haberdashery for witches.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that. Here's a question. Now that we're talking about what kind of people are in this movie, do we think there are any adults in this movie besides Grandma that are not witches?
Oh, I'd like to put in a bet for like some like hotel concierge or head check-in person.
Would you predict that particular person is quite put upon by the situation at hand?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Quite.
good.
They've got a mouse situation to deal with.
Oh, that's right.
This is the
Didn't even
Mousetrap?
consider that.
This is like a parallel story to The Mousetrap with...
I mean, maybe.
Nathan
Maybe one of the
Lane?
kids doesn't get turned back into... It is Nathan Lane, correct.
Or kind of the plot to the new Tom and Jerry movie on HBO Maximum. A great streaming service to watch The Witches.
Again, feel free to sponsor us.
Yeah,
please.
We'll just continue to say your name. And
Don't listen to Anne Hathaway if she catches wind of this. Like,
Right.
don't listen to her if she says anything about us.
Right.
I feel like we might be disrespectful to executive producer Dan Hake right now, who is our exclusive sponsor.
Oh, sure. Well,
That's
we're
true.
just put out feelers.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
for like
For the next
for
one.
our regular episodes.
Yeah, you can't
I
sponsor
see.
this one, HBO Maximum.
Yeah,
Get outta
hey,
here.
HBO, get out of here.
We don't want your money.
Get in
Yeah,
line
give
behind
it-
Dan.
Yeah, get in line. Warner Media? Time
Yeah.
Warner Media?
Yeah, it's Warner Media now.
Oh, no
They
time?
swallowed up Turner Broadcasting.
Gulp.
Turner has
Wow.
dropped
Like a
from the name
witch
for the first time.
Grabbing organs out of a child.
And making them
Yep.
into candy.
Exactly.
Is that what you were saying it was? They're making
Yeah.
candy?
Yeah,
Okay,
mind
great.
control candy.
Honestly, I hope you're right. Like, that sounds bananas. and I
Yeah.
hope you're right.
Okay, darker than we think. Anybody die in this? Anybody that's not a witch die to like raise the
Grandma?
stakes?
Maybe Grandma dies.
Oh, no.
No.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember. I don't think she dies in the new one, but they might have made it less dark
Right.
than
Is-
the one from the early 90s or late 80s. I don't know. I have no idea what year this movie was made.
Is there a cat in this?
There's got to be, right?
Oh yeah, it could be
Seems like
black
there
cats
would
everywhere.
be.
Oh, yeah. I bet
If
that
they
the
turn
witches
into mice?
have a cat. Yeah.
There's got to be a cat
That's
that
a really
chases
good
him
bet.
around.
Okay.
Chekhov's mouse.
Chekhov's mouse kid.
Oh,
You gotta have a
right.
cat. This is the end of that.
Oh,
Yep.
Chekhov's cat.
Cat and mouse.
Cat and mouse. Tom and Jerry's on
Tom.
HBO.
Maximum. It's got. I forget who's got in it now.
Great.
Who? Beth, leave this in. Tom and
What
Jerry.
is-
Can't remember. There's some fun people in it.
Great.
It's okay.
Wait,
Great.
you're counting Tom and Jerry as different people that are in this movie?
They're
Do you think they're
different.
one character, Beth? Do you think that's the conceit? It's like Fight Club, where one of them is a hallucination of the other?
Yeah. It's kind of
Wow.
Oh, it's got Midsummer's Day Lady.
Wow.
Oh
is the
my
lead.
God. I feel like
Oh.
also Dan is the only person who can guess what you're saying.
Are you talking about the movie Midsommar or
Yeah.
A Midsummer's
Yeah.
something,
got it.
Shakespeare, whatever?
Midsummer.
Florence Pugh.
Midsummer.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
pretty sure.
Okay. We'll check it. We'll check it out before the second half. Dan's bet Florence Pugh is in the Tom and Jerry movie.
And that's all I got about the witches.
And exclusively the witches.
Oh, I will say Anjelica Huston crushes. Is there anybody else, any other known actors?
There's gotta be, right?
I can't remember anybody else, but I'm sure there's going to be like a bunch of people that I completely forgot about.
I bet now that we are older and have seen more movies, we will recognize more of the witches.
Barbara
maybe they're
Hershey.
not like huge stars, but I bet there's some like... What was that, Molly?
Barbara Hershey.
Who's that?
She is an actress who was in Beaches.
Okay.
And the timing is about right. And her last name is Hershey, which reminds me of candy, which gives me the confidence to make this bet.
I love it. Solid bet.
Thank you. Thank you.
Diane Keaton. Is she in a witch movie?
That's Witches of Eastwick, right? No.
I think so.
Or am I thinking of the First
No.
Wives Club?
Oh, my
she?
God.
She's definitely in First Wives Club. Why are we talking? Hey, is this podcast about the movie The Witches?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Of course it is. This is what Dan Haig paid for. He wanted us to list the many actors who are definitely in this movie and also possibly in other movies.
But now it is bothering me that I can't think of who's in Witches of Eastwick.
I know. I feel like I should know that. And I bet when we see it, I'll be like, oh, of course. Well,
Yes.
let's report back on the second half. Who's
God, we
in
have
Witches of Eastwick?
so many
I will look
side
that up.
bets. We have so many side bets.
We have some actual bets, though, right? I feel
Yeah.
like we've said some. Okay, great.
Cats.
Cats,
Weird
mice,
feet.
toes, teeth, hats,
Conference,
soup.
hotel.
Grandma.
Wait, what was the last one?
Soup.
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 Okay, I thought you said poop, and I think there is a thing
What?
All
where
right, poop too.
the witches are able to smell
poop?
children. What?
Are there
No.
poops?
No, they
They smell the
children
children's
because they
poops?
think that they think the children smell like poop.
I mean,
And
they probably do, right?
That's enticing? Is that like how
No,
dogs
no.
like
Oh no,
poop?
because they like hate children.
They hate children. They want to get rid of children.
Oh, they don't want to eat them. They just want to get rid
no,
of
they
them?
think they're disgusting.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why they turn them into candy, right, Dan?
They no,
No, they turn
they
their
do turn
organs
them
into
into
candy.
something though.
Mice, right?
They always turn them into mice?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe that's the thing. I've seen the movie
Do you think
and the
that's-
remake
wait,
of it. It's
do you-
fine.
Do you think that's what the conference is about? Is they're like unveiling some new like industry, like established front
I honestly
in the real world
do
where they can
think
just
that's
destroy
what
children?
I think it is like a new plan to destroy children is
Amazing.
what
So they
the
have like
conference
a-
is about.
They're
They have, like, a
incorporated
master plan
or something.
to like kill all children.
Yes, I do think
Wow.
that that's what the meeting is about.
This is terrible.
Witches, man.
But also, we'll see what actually happened in the movie. We know my memory is
Yeah,
not the best.
it's possible the meeting is just like, LOL, it's great to be a witch, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're just like getting together for fun.
I like my witches as young 20s women who are sisters and I guess are boy crazy.
Yeah, they are boy crazy. That's a good description.
Is this the Witches of
Charmed.
Eastwick?
Charmed.
Oh, Charmed.
Charmed.
Okay.
So if that's not what this movie is, I don't know.
Exclusively lady witches in this.
I believe so.
Yes.
Is it warlock if it's dudes?
I think
Or is that an
so.
old idea?
I don't know. I think it's an older idea, but it also probably depends on which
Yeah.
culture's folklore you're
Yeah.
pulling from.
Like in Harry Potter, it's witches and wizards.
Right.
Oh.
And then in
So-
some fiction, they're just all witches, I think.
Yeah. But sometimes it's warlock.
And gender is a construct even among witch people. so-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Well,
Yeah, witches. Accept
What?
all genders in your weird child genocide conference.
I think they, well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe the cat is a dude and then just turns into a cat. Maybe Angelica's like, go get those mice, children. Then he's like, boom, okay, lady, and then turns into a cat.
Chopping a cigar.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll miss the friggin' how to harvest gulls testicles conference. I'll catch a mouse.
I hope so.
I
God,
mean, now
hope so.
you're getting really close to, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
her cat character.
Oh, right.
Sure.
A gruff mister.
Who turned into, or was turned into a cat, right?
Yeah.
For like breaking witch law or something.
Yep.
Yep.
Salem.
So many witch stories.
We're witch crazy here. in the world.
Here
Love
at
'em
Totes
all.
Recall, we are witch crazy right now.
Who's the new Sabrina? Is that what's her name also?
Kieran
Culkin?
Shipley.
I actually, I don't know how to
Sally
say her name.
Draper.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Did you think she was in Tom and Jerry?
No.
Do you think she's Florence Pugh?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then it's
They
odds
got
are
similar
not looking
energy, right?
Sure, but it's not looking good that Florence Pugh is actually in this movie. Then.
Well, she's definitely not in The Witches. She probably was like a baby.
Yeah, or like not even born.
But we'll figure out Tom and Jerry for the second half.
Yep.
Molly, how should we rate this movie? Are we there yet?
We are. We are going to rate it based on roly-poly witches
Roly Poly
Holy.
Witches.
because we could not get the author's name correct.
I see.
And that made me think of roly-polies, and they're very cute. And I thought they'd be even cuter if they had little witches' hats on.
Remind me what a
is
roly poly is.
roly-poly?
Yeah.
You don't know what a
pill bug, right?
roly-poly is?
No.
What's a
It's a little
pill
bug, right?
It's a little bug, and it rolls up into a ball when it's scared.
Like the ones that are in the bathtub all the time?
Yeah.
They
Okay.
are.
What do you call those?
Pill bug.
in
Oh.
in
Witches!
Witches.
Witches are coming in the darkness. It descends. They're the acrobat bugs in the circus in An Ant's Life.
Bug's life.
Oh,
Bug's
okay.
Life.
Life.
Not ants.
Aren't those pill bugs?
Bug's
Aren't those the same thing?
Yeah.
I guess I've never heard it called a pill bug. I've only heard roly-poly.
Well, now I'm picturing very tiny witches' hats, and that's very cute.
It's pretty cool. That's really
It's
good.
the tiniest haberdashery supply.
But they are witches, though.
Do they run the haberdashery?
Oh, yes.
Ooh, I love that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And where's this? I think I know, but where's this haberdashery located?
Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, oh, that's unexpected. I would have thought it
Yeah.
would have been in your hometown.
Nope.
I also
Nope.
think that
I don't
for
think.
reasons that are pretty obvious. I
Nope.
Providence for-
I don't think it is. I think new listeners
Hats.
don't want to hear your bit about my hometown of Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Well,
The
old
hat.
listeners would love to hear about
So are the witch? Okay, so make sure I understand. So these are roly polies, the insects with little witches' hats.
Yep.
They run a haberdashery.
Yep.
Are they themselves witches then?
Yeah.
So they can cast spells.
Well, it'd be so hard to make those hats otherwise.
Oh, that's a great point. Actually,
So the hat
Yeah.
are witches' hats magic,
sometimes.
but not always.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Sometimes they're just hats. Depends on the lore.
They
Check your
must
lore,
have
bro.
To be enchanted.
Kids, teens, check your lore, okay?
Lore.
Before you go shooting your mouth off like Dan is, check your lore.
Yeah.
Hashtag check your lore.
Check your lore
Know
at the
your
door.
history. Also, it's a bummer about almost all folklore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Princesses are not prizes to be won for feats of strength. Grimm brothers. Or I guess just German people from 1,000 years ago.
Right. And like women who don't live a particular way of life are not necessarily evil brides of Satan trying to destroy your way of life.
Yeah.
Fair.
Dan,
So, yeah, roly-poly witches.
you are the keynote speaker
Ooh.
of ratings in that you
I
go
love
first.
this. Oh, is that what keynote means?
Well, it's usually first. There's like a pre-conference if you pay extra, but we don't.
But sometimes there's
Fuck with
multiple
that.
keynote speakers.
All right. You know what? Whatever. I've only seen this movie once. I saw it when I was a child. I only remember the creepy transformation montage and that the kids turn into mice. But I feel like it was maybe fun. So I'm going to be optimistic and say 4 roly-poly witches.
Great.
Thank
Beth,
you.
you go next. As we all know.
I feel like I didn't reveal this. I did not watch this movie as a child. I watched it like 2 years ago.
Big reveal.
And it is totally bonkers is what I remember of it. So I'm excited to watch it with you all. And I think I'm going to give it 3.5. That's my bet. 3.5 roly-poly. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, let's just do 4. We'll just say 4 because I don't want to cut one of those adorable little
thank you.
bugs in half.
I mean, if they're magic,
Unless
maybe...
it's like magic and it's like, ooh, look at my magic
and they're
trick.
in they're in the little box.
They're in a little tiny box, and
they
they
split
solid.
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Oh, that's
okay, then we're
cute.
back 3.5.
Yep. Sorry, the witches. It was too cute not to give you a lower rating.
I was not even aware of that this movie existed until the remake came out, and my wife, no big deal, told me about it, that it existed, and that Anne Hathaway was not going to be as good as Anjelica Huston. Sorry, Anne Hathaway, but also
Wow. Another
those are
shot
big
fired.
shoes to fill, curly-toed
those-
shoes. Am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
Prada.
John Wick 3. She's great at it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it seems like a weird, dark kids movie that I would like, but I also have zero nostalgia attachment to it. So that all shakes out to 3.5.
Great. So you get the other half when the
You get the
box
other
is
half,
split in the magic
Oh.
trick.
Molly.
I was not sure this movie was real. I think I saw a promo for the remake in my Roku one time.
Ooh,
A great
braggy.
streaming.
Yeah. Yep. Is no nostalgia, no ideas about it. It doesn't sound like a topic I'm that into, but I would like to raise it up a little bit. In thanks to executive producer Dan Hake for selecting it. So I will give it 2 roly-poly witches.
Bumping it up for Dan is 2 roly-polies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it would have been 1 otherwise, maybe 1.5, but we had already allocated the halves of the roly-polies, and I just felt like,
Okay.
let's just make this make sense. So 2 roly-poly witches. And with that, we're going to press pause, go watch the witches, and we'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Beth Gibbs, the person that you've been listening to talking for the last 30 minutes or so about the movie that we're watching, The Witches.
Yes.
We just wanted to let you know that, again, thank you so much to Dan Haig for executive producing this episode. If you would like to executive produce an episode, you can head to patreon.com/totesrecall and select the $25 a month tier, or pay all at once
Ooh.
for the year and sponsor an episode. You get to pick which movie we watch, and it will come out as a bonus episode. So we usually only do 1 episode a month. You can make it be 2 episodes a month. That's fun.
That
Would
is
we
fun.
do 3? Would we go to 3 if we had that many executive
Ooh.
producers?
I mean, maybe.
No comment at this time.
Depends on what our lives look at. Look like.
Yeah. No, we look at
Okay.
our lives.
Oh, we're
we
looking
look at our
at our
lives.
lives.
If
And
our lives
Yeah.
are looking at 3, then
we do 3.
it's a sign.
Yeah.
If there's enough people paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cough
And you-
up the coffers.
And
Is
you
that
cough
a saying?
up. Yep,
Cough
you
up
cough
into
up
our
your coffer
coffers.
by heading to patreon.com/totesrecall. And now, back to the show.
The witches.
And we're back. We just watched 91 minutes of terrifying tales of witches and a little bit of sexy stuff and a lot of mice and some cool puppets.
A lot of mice.
All right.
Yeah.
A lot of mice.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I agree.
a fair summary.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. An even fairer summary would take a decided amount of time and would consequently win so many awards.
So many awards.
That segment that I referred to is, of course, legendary segment of segments, 60-second summary,
The segment
in
of
which
segments.
we summarize in 60 seconds.
The Sego Seg.
Sego
Seg.
seg. Yeah.
I would like to take a stab at this 60-second summary, please.
Wonderful.
I love it. Are you ready?
Yes.
And go.
We have a grandma who is awesome, but incredibly frank and terrifying in her vivid descriptions of witches and awful things that they've done to her and to people she knows. We realize, though, very quickly that this grandma will believe in witches, and her grandson has an encounter with a witch. Oh, his parents die? I don't know. They disappear. We're pretty sure they're dead. At first I thought they were mice, but they aren't. And then
30 seconds.
She gets a little bit of diabetes or a mild case of diabetes, and they have to go to the seashore. They go to a hotel. They find out that all the witches want to turn the kids into mice, and in the end, the kid turns the witches into mice. And Mr. Bean uses a cleaver to kill the head mouse, who's like the head baddest witch, who's Anjelica Huston, who's like vaguely European.
10 seconds.
And in the end, he goes back to being a little boy thanks to a good witch who is like clearly is kind of a secondary ending they just kind of threw in there. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Not
that's
bad.
Pretty good.
Not
that's
bad.
Pretty good.
I mean, you totally sidelined Bruno.
Oh, Bruno.
The other child.
That's right. That's a good
the
point.
movie kind of
Bruno
does too.
Kinda...
Like the last third, I was like, wait, where is Bruno? Shouldn't he also be
in the
doing
handbag?
This? Yeah.
The literal last line of the movie is, "Don't forget Bruno."
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my God, you're right. Oh, that's very telling. It's like that is almost like someone had handwritten that as a note on the screenplay, and then like they just sent that copy to the printer, and they just threw it in there, and they're just like, oh. Yeah, can you? I guess we got to ADR this. Shit, can you call up? Luke? Can you call up Luke? We got to get him to ADR this line.
Amazing. We also talked for 60 seconds in the first half of the show and made predictions about this movie. Specifically, me and Molly had a equal and fair chance to summarize our thoughts about the movie based on never having seen it and barely even having heard about it. And I have calculated the scores, and I'll reveal that at the end.
Of what?
After of how close we got in our predictions.
Oh, okay.
We collectively thought that the main story would be primarily witches stealing children's organs to turn into mind control candy, and that Anjelica Huston would crush, and there were teens that fell in love and moved to a gingerbread house.
You did okay.
Well, I have the calculation here, as I said, and 100% Utah is the final score on that. So good job, Molly and I. We will be splitting
the winnings.
The winnings, as is standard in America, where I get 70% of that. The other bets that we made are...
I guess, yeah, you could argue that they took the children's organs by replacing them with mice organs through magic.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's candy involved.
There was candy involved. I mean, it controlled Bruno's mind, am I right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There was a meet cute, but it was between two boys who were friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of sexy time, but that had nothing to do with teenagers or
romance,
as far as I could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like very transaction oriented. Although, well, we'll get into the witches being hot for children's demise later.
Absolutely, we will.
We absolutely will. Hang on to your hats, Atlanta. We're getting to that. This movie came out of the year 1990, a year none of us bet. So, boo! This is boo.
The closest.
Move up a year at least.
What a garbage year, huh?
Yep.
I don't know. I have no.
Who came closest?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Other bets that we made. The children smelled like poop. Crushed it.
Yep.
Fucking crushed
Specifically dogs droppings.
Specifically, yes.
Yeah.
Fresh
Multiple
dogs
characters refer to as dogs droppings.
Mm-hmm.
Which is... yeah, but there's like... I feel like there's... Droppings is clunky.
I wonder if those are the... I wonder if that's the specific phrasing used in the book. and it's just like a fun doll word. Fun.
Dog duty. Or
he's British.
Right, dogs dropping.
Who says dog duty over there?
We've got some dog duty on me heel. Oh, my apples and pears are covered in mud. That's pretty good.
This dog needs to go to the loo.
What is apples and pears? Did you just make that up, or is that actually refer to
stairs?
Something? Oh, okay, great, thank you.
Hey.
We droppings are we everywhere?
Oh no, this Kirkland's best shop is filled with droppings.
I will say that I made a promise to, as we said in the first half, my English boyfriend, that I would not make fun of an English accent in this podcast. So I'm not doing
Wow. Wait, this episode or
he watched the movie and he was like, do me a favor and don't do an English accent. And so I'm not doing it.
Because yours is so good and he doesn't
he'd
want
be
to
like-
feel embarrassed.
You'd be like, oh, it sounds so authentic.
He's offended by it. He's like, not everyone has a Cockney accent and not everyone is very posh. There are people in between.
Well,
I know, but those are harder to do.
yeah, we're dumb Americans. So.
Yeah. Did you ask him how to say the author's name, though?
I did, but you know what? It is not an English name.
Oh.
It is a Norwegian name because it's Roald. I don't know. There were several pronunciations on the internet, but it is it's a Norwegian name. Both of his parents are from Norway.
Fun fact.
Yeah. And so that's why the beginning of this movie takes place in Norway.
So there's neither a right way nor a Norway to say it.
Correct.
Good enough.
See?
Good enough for American comedy. Am I right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think anyone would prefer my British accent to that joke.
Guess we'll see.
I guess we don't make the rules.
Tweet at us. Yeah, tweet at us.
You all can do it.
Molly British.
Now I feel like I threw him under the bus. I shouldn't have done that, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's
under
why I'm not
the
participating.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please be respectful.
I know Lori's a truck under the double-decker bus. All double-deckers. All buses are double-deckers.
The whiskers and tusks.
Listen, they're either double deckers or they're tiny, tiny buses. There's nothing in between in England.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yep. Molly bet that there would be a sandwich joke in this film. Definitely sandwiches.
Sandwich talk, even.
Bruno
So
complains
much
about
sandwich
margarine v. butter in cucumber sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a legitimate complaint. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It turns out, did you know that fish paste, do you know what that is?
Is it made of fish?
And
Yes.
paste.
Like a tuna.
It's tuna fish.
Oh.
Yes. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Is it like it's mushed up tuna or what they would call like tuna and mayo mashed together as fish paste?
I mean, I don't know that deep into it, but basically like how a person might eat a tuna fish sandwich.
Okay.
It would
So
be
when
red fish paste.
Grandma goes to eat a cucumber sandwich and it turns out to be a fish paste sandwich. At first I was like, oh, gross. There's something called fish paste.
Yeah, agree.
And then I learned, that's just tuna fish.
Oh,
Got
okay.
it.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was being cursed during that scene.
I
I
also
thought so
that.
too.
All
Yeah,
her food was turning out wrong, and fish paste
Yeah.
sounds really
Yeah.
gross.
it does.
Well, and she wanted cucumbers.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's
imagine,
just gonna-
when you take a sip of something and your brain thinks it's something else, and like, even though it's a perfectly acceptable beverage,
Yep.
you're like, oh God, because your brain isn't expecting it.
Yeah. Like
Exactly.
this
I
is-
imagine that's what happened there. Is she was like, oh, a delicious, fresh cucumber slice between this white bread. And no, it was fish paste.
Yep.
Or it was a cucumber that was cursed to taste like fish paste. We're not clear on that.
Ooh, that's even more menacing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know we have a bunch of side bets. We should probably just tick through real quick.
Yeah. It sounded like you were going to go on. I say it sounded like you were going to go, but I have something to say.
Oh, no, not at all.
That's
Okay.
that's a real
I'm
Jaquette
just
move.
so used to
Yeah, it is.
Dan just hopping in there.
Right.
taking up 70% of the space that I forgot.
I gotta earn my pay. I gotta earn my unequal pay. That's the right thing to do, right? If you're getting paid more, you should work more.
Also, this math checks out.
Yeah. Oh,
that
absolutely.
you do 70% of the work and you get paid 100% of the check.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or more often, you do like 25% of the work and get paid 75%.
Yeah, I'm trying to fight against the patriarchy by shouting over you to earn my unequal, my above average pay.
He's shining a light on these terrible, unequal conditions.
Great job, guys.
The witches would have something weird with their toes, like having 3 of them.
No.
And they'd have pointy teeth. Pretty good. They have no toes.
Yes.
Which I appreciate. That's even weirder than weird toes, having no toes at all.
Right.
I like it. And then they do get messed up teeth once they've transformed.
Yeah,
right?
they have weird teeth.
Yeah. But the cues are purple eyes. Mm-hmm. And they wear wigs because they're bald and they have itchy heads.
Itchy heads. Oh, this whole movie was itchy.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think the other thing is that they don't wear cute shoes, basically.
Right.
Yes.
So those are the 3 ways to tell.
Yeah.
Also, if they scrunch up their nose and look like they smell something bad.
Yeah. And they're very obviously trying to trick you into coming out of your treehouse.
Right, by pulling out a cool snake from their purse.
Snakes and candy bars.
Ooh, little boys love snakes. Blah.
Blah.
Very presumptive.
Yeah.
That witch.
It's like they probably did 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. There would be great hats. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some good hats.
No-
Not as many as I was expecting, nor as
agree.
elaborate as I was hoping.
And no classic conical witch hat.
No.
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 Not even in the
know, what's-
background. You'd hope like one of the background witches would just be rocking
Just
like full Wicked Witch of the West.
Doesn't even care.
Excited to be here. All right, it's great.
Cosplay.
I think a bet we made around the same time was about whether there would be men versus women witches. And I found it very interesting.
Partial
that during
credit?
the convention. Yeah, I think it's because it was easier to find men who were already bald. But the back
That's
of the house
absolutely what it was.
filled with men. Filled with them.
Yeah.
Who were, I guess if you're wearing a wig anyway,
And the last bet I have written down is that Grandma dies. No.
No.
Grandma rules.
She just
Grandma
Grandma
fucking
rules.
There was definitely, it was touch and go there for a minute where I thought she was going. I was like, oh
There-
no.
yeah.
Is he going to be
Yeah.
a weird orphan in a hotel?
She gets very sick very quickly from her mild case of diabetes.
Yeah, it's it's a real bummer of a movie Diabetes, which then they call diabetes at one point too. It's just so cheap and pointless
Yeah.
to put it in there.
It's weird because like
flu.
it's not even as like poorly portrayed as it may have been. It's not even as much of a plot point as it was in Con Air, where it was like at least there was specifically like I have to get my good friend his like insulin back to the prison plane or whatever. Whereas this was literally just like, oh, just go to the beach and lie down for a while. Like you could have picked any sort of illness for the doctor to be like, oh yeah, just go take a vacation.
Yeah.
And they were able to cover so much ground with Luke, the child's voiceover when he was a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a moment where he's like, my grandmother isn't feeling well. I don't know if it's because of the diabetes or because of she got cursed.
Right.
Anyway, it's like,
Yeah.
what?
What's the point? It's just like
What exposition is that? Because we also don't know.
Right.
You actually didn't clear anything up, except that you also don't know. What's the point of having a narrator who also doesn't know the thing that you're kind of interested in, but I guess you don't need to know?
Yeah.
But to the movie's credit, we do get a woman doctor.
Yes.
Yes.
Shocking 1990 movie turn.
Yeah.
With, I believe, Beth's future haircut, she said.
Yep. I am definitely going to get that haircut as soon as I get vaccinated and I can like go out into the world safely again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get just like really short, was it bangs in the front with like kind of shaved on the side, but then also a ponytail?
Yeah.
It was It was every haircut.
It was actually
mullet
every haircut.
pulled
Yeah,
back.
because what I've been struggling with is like, what haircut am I gonna get when I can finally get my haircut again?
Right.
And the answer is all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why choose?
Yeah.
Just go into your stylist and go, the doctor from the witches.
Exactly. 1990s The Witches.
1990s
Yes.
The Witches, yes, please.
Give me the doctor from 1990s The Witches, and they'll be like, of course. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing.
Any stylist worth their salt will
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Yep.
But that passed the Bechdel-Wallace test,
Yes.
right? In that
Sure did.
moment.
Sure did.
Yep.
We had a named doctor and named
Was the doctor named?
Doctor woman.
There's a name.
I
Was
mean,
she?
Quinn.
I thought they named her.
Woman.
If not, the witches passed 1,000
Witches
times.
passed.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That was at least that was the first time that two women spoke to each other in the movie.
No,
Didn't
passes.
Mom speak to Grandma before she died or disappeared forever?
Oh, maybe, yeah. That was I knew as soon as they walked out and like she's all dressed up and then he's wearing a tuxedo, I was
Yeah.
like, they're about to die.
Oh, yeah.
That is a movie trope that I didn't
That's
realize was a
Batman
movie trope.
rules. That's
Yeah,
what that
exactly.
is.
Like if the dad's in a tux and
They're
the mom's
saying
in an
goodnight.
evening gown
They're
and they're
done.
saying goodnight, that's the last time you're seeing those
Yeah,
parents.
especially if they appear to be good parents.
Yes.
If they
Yeah.
appear to be loving parents, like
Yeah.
they're dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're-
Oh.
Yep.
Terrible. And one thing that I will say of real merit to this story is at the beginning, I was really not on board with Grandma at all.
Really?
Because she tells vivid, extremely frightening, even for me as a full-grown human adult, really creepy, like get to you kind of tales about witches and what they've done.
Yeah.
The-
Like
That
really
being
visceral.
trapped in a painting.
That's the scariest
Yeah,
part. of the
until
movie.
you die.
And then it was like,
Like,
good
goes
night.
all the
I'll
way
tuck you
through
in.
Yeah, and
awesome.
just the vivid detail of what to look for, with witches and how your parents can't protect you, but you need to know what to look out for. And I was really down on her about that. But then as the movie progresses, she always believes her grandson.
Mm-hmm.
She takes him very seriously. She's willing to tell a different set of parents that their young child, Bruno Jenkins, has turned into a mouse
Yeah.
and
She
deal with all the
smokes a
lumps
cigar.
that come with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
loves those cigars. Even though
She does.
Dr. Woman says those aren't going to do any favors.
Yeah. She can make candles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
she's
she's
just
great.
really, but to me at the end, I was like, maybe there's something in there about not sheltering your kids, right? For being brutally honest and knowing what to look for and how to protect yourself. Because it's in that way I was like, oh, well, this has real value, except for the part that it's really terrifying. So
Yeah,
you
but
know
she
what I'm
clearly
saying?
had that attitude of just like he needs to know what the reality of what he's facing from the beginning, otherwise he'll get complacent, and that's when they'll strike.
Lock him in
Right.
a painting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could I can respect the fact that she's like, okay, I lost one of my fingers to these terrifying, monstrous creatures who want nothing more than to destroy all children.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna sugarcoat this with my grandson, which is fair.
Do we know how she lost that finger? I was kind of expecting Luke to come back missing a finger because his tail got chopped off as a mouse or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Just the tip of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought they would sort of indicate that. Well, when you're ready for a Wikipedia moment, I can explain a couple of things to you.
Well, I'm almost ready for that. Before we blow too far past talking about the openings, we do have a Discord question. If you become a Patreon, you have access to our Discord, and we put out a call for questions night of the record. Lost Walrus asks, were you surprised/confused by the openings?
In general, for that opening, it is like ice cold water splashed on your face immediately.
Yeah, they dive in. Like, it's not even just like, ooh, there are witches in the world, and then a bunch of just like innocent stuff. It's like literally straight up like immediately like these witches will hunt you down and destroy you. Also,
and once they've picked you out, like there's nothing that can be done.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It is very scary. Like that little girl does not survive the witch attack.
No.
And like it's not like later she's discovered
No,
somewhere
she
and you're
spends
like, oh,
her
she's
life in a
safe.
painting.
No, and then she just disappears into nothingness.
Wow.
And also, can you imagine having a painting in your house that every time you look at it, there's a figure that's in it in a different position?
Oh, it's terrifying.
I would burn it.
But it's like your child and you painted the painting?
That's the worst part of this movie by far.
Oh my God, it's just terrifying.
I am never going to be able to look at a painting with a figure in it again.
Right?
Just think that's a
And those eyes are
child stuck in
chilling
there.
in the painting.
Yeah.
Just like,
Oh,
when she
so
gets up
sad.
close next on that fence,
Oh,
I can't
not just
handle
in the
it.
house, far away.
oh,
At
terrible.
least she has birds to hang out with.
I know,
Yeah,
it does look
ducks.
like at least a
Ducks.
nice cottage.
It does seem like a nice cottage.
But she was so sad. Her eyes
Although
were
we
so
can't see the
sad.
inside. Maybe it's just a complete void because Dad forgot to render some furniture.
Yeah.
Is she like just watching her parents have their lives?
I guess.
Right?
Oh,
Yikes.
I
Yikes.
hate this movie. Anyway,
Molly, you wanted to talk about Wikipedia. Let's just do it.
Weren't we going to talk about side bets that you ignored Molly about like 4
oh
times?
yeah.
I got through them all.
No, you didn't.
What'd I miss?
You got through all the normal bets about the movie.
Oh.
Side bets.
Like Tom and
Side
Jerry?
bets. Oh, my God.
Wow.
I am officially pulling the curtain back for 1 second because I'd like to point out that before we started recording the second half of the show, I said, let's just blaze through the side bets early so we don't forget about them. Everyone agreed. Molly clearly was the only one listening because she constantly tried to direct Dan into that space, and he just kept plowing ahead, talking about hats and mice and Discord. But also, please continue
I've
to
covered
use
everything
Discord.
I wrote down, and I
God
can't
damn
remember
it.
anything else. So this is where we're at.
Roald Dahl was indeed
Dahl.
anti-Semitic. He also might have been like a bunch of other things, but like who wasn't in the early whatever decade that he lived?
I mean, probably a lot of people weren't.
Yeah, but like any artist in the UK who had any notoriety was probably at least one of those things. Racist, misogynist, anti-Semitic. Probably all three. And he may have been all three. But he was particularly anti-Semitic because his family like expressly apologized for it recently.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
I remembered one of the other side bets.
I do too.
Just
No big deal.
just to bring it back into not a real bummer of a conversation. The Witches of Eastwick, the 3 witches were Cher, Susan Sarandon, and Michelle Pfeiffer.
There it was. There it was. There it goes. There
It was
is.
the whole
Whoop.
time.
Yep. Other movie facts from the side bets. Florence Pugh is not in Tom and Jerry. That's Chloe
Grace.
Moretz. And neither of those two are in the Sabrina reboot. I conflated the 3 of them into one. And I'm sorry.
Well,
But
what if they're all in a movie together?
For whatever that's worth. I'll watch it.
Great.
Hollywood, write that movie about 3 young white women living in
Oh,
New York or
reboot
something.
of Witches of Eastwick.
There you go. Who would be the dude? Who would be Jack Nicholson?
Actually, let's
I don't
not
know,
reboot
Timothy
it.
Chalamet, probably.
I've never
Oh.
seen it, so I don't know anything about it.
Here's some hot gossip from 1990, really 1989.
I'm listening.
Jack Nicholson was Anjelica Huston's boyfriend
Ooh.
when she was filming this movie. And he sent massive amounts of flowers. And the people on the switchboard got very excited when he would call, and they had to patch him through.
Wow. Wait, is that something that you learned on the internet?
Yeah. Yeah,
where-
I may have
Like you're just kind of looking around, like just clicking
just
on
looking
random
around,
links,
just
or
looking around. I mean, I started on Wikipedia.
.org.
Wikipedia.
Oh, you're gonna sing your own theme song?
No, I just thought I would just cut it short. We could just do Wikipedia.org.
Molly's gonna watch and read it
Yeah, make a bet, $3. Give us money.
Yeah. Anne, come on. I apologize for what Beth said. She does not represent the views of the entire podcast.
I thought you just kept on saying and
Anne Hathaway.
No, he meant Anne Hathaway, the beloved star of screen and stage.
Stage 2?
No, Anjelica Huston. That's all I gotta say.
Sure, nobody's saying that.
Is known for having a great sense of humor.
Oh.
And who definitely would not hold Beth's callous remarks against the rest of the podcast and could still send us $3 and solve this whole Wikipedia situation.
I mean,
One
I think
for
we know
each host that you like.
And I think we know she would not be voting for Beth to be running that segment. Am I right?
That's true.
That's right.
Wow.
Wow.
Maybe Anne and I have a little bit of a beef with each other.
What happened?
Whoa.
Do we need to sit down? Do we need like a beer
Did she say
summit?
something about your hair?
Was she
was
Beetlejuice?
I found out that Anne Hathaway was there at Universal Studios the day I went, and she called my hair a bad hair day.
Wow. I mean, does that timeline work out? How long has she been acting? Maybe that's how she got her start. Just as a theme park
Definitely
Beetlejuice.
works out because it's exactly what happened.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
The truth always works out.
Okay, so just to be
It's
clear,
out there.
we've doxed Anne Hathaway as the one person who has not yet voted on the Wikipedia segment.
Correct.
Also, we've revealed that she was the Beetlejuice at Six Flags
Yep.
that made fun of Beth's hair.
Universal Studios.
You're welcome, Dan Hag. This is what Patreon.com money brings to the table. These are the kind of exclusive moments that happen when you open up your wallet and, more importantly, your hearts and executive produce an episode of this show.
It's really amazing it's not more expensive.
Really?
Because I will tell you right now, I would not watch this movie had it not been for the executive production and selection of Dan Hake.
Preview.
Wow.
Good to know.
Yeah, well,
anyway, that was the pre-recorded theme song for Wikipedia.
And stop. Okay, that's it. That was the whole thing.
That was the intro. Yeah. Oh, do you want to hear some other cool facts that I learned?
Wait,
On
these
Wikipedia?
Wikipedia facts are cool.
Well, they're Wikipedia facts.
Okay, God, I was worried that we were just going to completely... when we played the song and everything.
Yeah.
There were 2 endings tried for this movie.
Ooh.
The original ending is just like in the movie. He says, "I really am happy being a mouse, Grandma."
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. And Grandma looks a little sad about it, but she's pretty tough.
She looks very sad about it.
Yeah, she does look real sad about it. And in the original, the movie just ends, right? You just end with, and I think the line in the book is something like, "I'll grow old as a mouse, and you'll grow old as a grandma, and we'll grow old together."
Jeez.
It's very dark and kind of sweet, right?
Right, but like...
So the original one, the author, when he saw it, just cried. It was just the absolute manifestation of his intention. Mm-hmm. And then Spielberg was like, not Spielberg, sorry, Jim Henson.
Spielberg. When did he get involved?
Sorry, it
Just pops up.
Jim Henson.
Yeah. Hey, Nick.
That's not a Spielberg ending.
Nick, why don't you just maybe just make the kid a boy again? You know, people like
Sorry. Jim Henson
that.
was worried it was too dark. And so Jim Henson made an alternative ending, which is the one that we see in the movie, where there's like a good witch kind of shows up a little bit out of nowhere, returns Luke back into being a boy.
Yes.
And returns his glasses, which
Very
is very
kind. Yeah.
But forgets to bring clothes.
Forgets to bring clothes and forgets all about Bruno. But
She
that's
doesn't
okay.
know his
Luke says,
size.
"Don't forget Bruno."
That's true, but she did bring his glasses.
She did. Which
That's
is
easy,
Maybe
though.
she could have
Just get a
found his
prescription.
clothes.
Oh, and she brought back his mice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
William and Mary, who are not his parents. I was kind of thinking they might
Are those
be,
his
but I
parents'
guess not.
names, though? I was wondering.
I don't know.
Heavy if it is.
Oh, did Grandma get him mice to replace his parents?
Oh, this is brutal.
Oof.
At any rate,
Yes.
basically what happened is there's a lot of back and forth between Jim Henson and the author, and Jim Henson was like, "What do you say we'll just test both of them?" And of course,
The
American
Roald
and UK
Dahl?
audiences. What?
When you say the
Yeah.
author, do you mean Roald Dahl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Roald Dahl.
Okay.
Oh.
The director
Roald
had
Dahl.
no say in any of this.
I suppose the director did. Apparently, the director was known for making sexy movies, which I've got to say that comes out a little bit in how HOT those witches are for blowing up other witches, like incinerating them on the spot,
Yeah.
and for turning children into mice.
Yeah, those.
Talk about all that. Are you done with Wikipedia?
There's some sexual shimmying. That is it for now. I might think of something later.
Okay. There's a lot I want to cover in there.
Oh, okay.
Lots to unpack in those shimmies.
Not to unpack. I want to get to the shimmy witch, but I also want to talk about the ending because I don't understand it.
Okay.
Oh,
I sort of do, but I also don't. That witch was like the assistant to Anjelica Huston, right? And she's
Correct.
kind of
Yes.
like told to go eat dinner in a room, so she
Correct.
hates everybody.
Correct.
And
She quits.
Then
Yeah.
becomes good.
yeah, she
All of a
quits.
sudden?
I guess.
She quits being a bad witch.
Or she at least like quits, and then I guess maybe like when she comes down and sees that all the other witches have turned into mice, she's like, it's like a moment of clarity for her, like, oh my God, that could have been me if I kept down this path.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like she comes out of nowhere, and then there's a hard end to the movie right after, and I got kind of whiplash of like,
Yeah.
wait a minute,
Yeah.
what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, like, hearing that story, that's definitely
Explains a
what
lot,
happened.
yeah.
Like, it seemed like there was an end of the movie that was dark, but, like, seemed right. And then
like,
all of a sudden there's, like, this,
tonally,
like,
yeah.
giddy witch that, like, is like, like, it's just, like, zapping through a
Shooting
window.
lasers out of her hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
you
she
see
drives
Luke,
off.
like Hulk out
In a
of a Lego
BMW.
house nude.
Yeah, that was
I got
awesome.
very worried I was going to see a nude child in a movie.
Uh-huh.
It was close.
Yeah.
I assume he was wearing
Definitely
like
close.
nude-toned briefs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of skin,
But yeah, that's what
flesh tone
happened.
unitard.
Yeah. So you do understand
So-
the ending then.
I guess maybe it was just harsh, and now hearing that it was sort of like tacked on for themes makes a lot of sense.
Explains a lot.
Yeah.
Well, because the other thing that the director said that I thought was really interesting is with a book, right? If you read a scary book to a kid, as the parent, you can be like, oh, this is too scary. Or the kid can say, this is a little scary. And you just close the book. But if you're watching a movie, you're kind of strapped, especially with the theatrical release. Like, that's it. Like, you can't stop the movie. And so
Right.
for that reason, he felt okay about softening it out. And I feel like it's true that the movie starts out so harsh and so terrifying and then kind of mellows by the end. And you're left with a feeling that it wasn't maybe as scary as it actually was.
I mean, this was 1990, which means it was still at the tail end of, like, kind of, I feel like this attitude just like, who cares? Like, kids are tough, right? I feel like most 80s movies are like, especially like Jim Henson movies, are just like, just put a bunch of fucking goblins and monsters in there, whatever. Like, kids will deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which they look
Yeah.
great.
They- Ugh.
Jim Henson Creations knocks
Come
it out
on.
of the park again.
Like, every single thing that they did was awesome. Like, the little mice puppets
Oh, it's so cute.
are so cute. And,
They had
like,
three sizes of puppets.
Ooh.
whoa. I was
They had
wondering
little
about that.
tiny ones, and then they had like slightly larger ones, and then they had ones that were like 10 size scale.
Yeah.
So those were the most expressive, most adorable ones. And
Yeah.
So they just had to make set pieces that would make it look 2 inches tall.
Right.
Yeah. Fun.
Adorable.
That's pretty cute. Oh my gosh, those like full size puppets were the cutest little mice.
Little Bruno mouse.
Yeah.
So cute. But then at the same time, which is why the Jim Henson studio fucking owns, Anjelica Huston's prosthetics were disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Really
she was
gross.
like, I love how it was. Like I love how with every other, like with all that we've gotten from the. I mean, I guess this was like well done just in terms of the structure of the movie. Like all we knew about it from Grandma was like, oh yeah, they got no toes and they're bald, and you're just like, oh, okay, I'm ready for that. Like I'm prepared for them to just like pop their wigs off, whatever. But then she like starts peeling off her Anjelica Huston face
Yeah.
while still talking, and then like turns into this just like insane, just like humanoid wart, basically like walking wart woman.
Yeah. Is she so differently figured because she's like old and powerful?
That's my
Or
understanding.
does everybody have face skin they can take off and they just don't bother with it?
I interpret it as, since she is the Grand High Witch, she is like more witchy or something.
Yeah, because they had kind of like messed up teeth and those glowing eyes and stuff.
Right.
The rest
Plus,
of them.
You know how pyramid schemes are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
People are going to show up at the convention are kind of your brighter, fresher faced, younger types.
Yeah.
More influenced.
And I thought,
guess how much time it took to put on and take off that makeup?
Ooh, boy.
8 hours.
10 hours.
7 hours.
It took 6 hours to put on and 5 to take off.
Oh.
And I think that part is what really kills me is like, oh, and then her like fingertips were at the knuckle point on her hands. So, and then they had these like long nails and stuff on them. So like it took an hour for that to come off.
Yeah.
So like just going to the bathroom must have been unfun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so she only has to do that in one scene, right?
I think so. She said it was only 2 or 3 weeks of filming that she had to do all that makeup.
Yeah. Like, okay, we'll talk about like grotesque puppets. Like anytime they had one of the characters transforming into a mouse,
Ooh, boy.
they had like
Yeah.
those different
Halfway through.
levels.
Yeah.
It was like the actor with like a face paint on, and then it would be like kind of a mouse-like face, and then
Yeah.
it would be like even more. And hers, when she turned into a mouse,
Oh, my
was
God.
the most upsetting thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was really grotesque.
Yeah, it was real.
took
Had real
500 doses.
Skeksis energy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it really
did.
did.
And, was that Dark Crystal?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Even like Bruno's transformation was just like, it had some grotesque midpoints.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Anjelica Huston crushes
Oh my
the
God.
scenes where you cut back and she's just put her face back on.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
just camera tricks, but the way she's pushing on her real face,
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
physicality
very realistic
of it.
for like, oh, I just put a weird rubber mask over
Yeah,
my
she like
bitch
checks her
face.
neck seam and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really
She was-
effective. Like I knew what they were doing with like,
Yeah.
okay, this is a different shot,
Right.
Yeah.
but like just her physicality really did it.
I also just loved the way I'm talking about crushing it, like the fact that she was wearing that insane prosthetic setup, but still was like pacing around that stage like Tom Cruise in Magnolia, right? Like she just had carried it with such confidence, and would just like the way she was just like leaning on the table with that just absurd Muppet hand,
Yeah.
right?
Like,
Ugh.
I was admiring her for her commitment while wearing like a full Muppet on the outside of her body.
Right?
Like she really she's awesome in this movie.
Oh, my
like
God.
that character can be played by none other,
Ooh.
especially not Anna Hathaway.
Okay.
Ugh.
She was sad French singer.
Yeah,
How dare you?
how dare you?
She can be sad French singer. She cannot
I-
be the witch.
She might be able to pull off a better German accent.
No, she can't. She can't.
to be like
Was she
tried,
supposed to
but
be
she
German?
cannot.
She can't. Okay.
She says a couple things in German, like Liebchen. Her cat's name is
Yeah.
Liebchen, and that's a German word.
Okay. Yeah, because when she first came into the movie, I thought she was supposed to be like maybe like French. But then
Yeah,
the
it's-
more she talked, I was like, oh no, maybe she's German, or maybe she's just like
She
just
might be all things.
all
you know?
European
Right.
all
She's
the
been
time
around for a
she's
long
been around
time.
forever. Yeah.
And European.
She's like
Pan-European.
everywhere but England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked like, because then she was going to head to the United States. Like, what is that about?
Right. I mean, you touched on this a little bit, Molly. Like, she is clearly a successful business witch.
Yeah.
She has a system in place. I assume there are tiered levels of a success that a witch can reach.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get a
And
case of
You start
poison
with
or potion, and then
start
you
with
get
10
$500.
Yeah. You start with 10 bottles of Formula 86 and
Yeah.
enough money to buy a candy store.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then after that, like it's up to your ambition and
Yeah.
your skill.
Which is much better. The original group just got like a snake to lure little boys with
Yeah. And like one
and like a
unbranded-
bar of chocolate.
Oh my God.
So-
I did not even consider that. I love that. I love that that was like the last the last plan. It was just like the last conference. She was like, you will each get a snake and a chocolate bar. The snake It will cost you $4,000 a year to feed the snake.
Because we spent so much time talking about the structure of the conference and debating about whether she was the only keynote.
Yes.
I just want to point out that this entire conference was one keynote speech and no breakout sessions.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And the speech is like 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah, these people traveled all that way for like that speech and like a luncheon.
Yeah.
Well, they turned a child into a mouse.
Yeah.
That was kind of a big deal.
Right. Like,
And
I
they
guess.
are going to get individual, like 10-on-1s with her.
Yeah.
Small group
10
sessions.
ones.
Yeah, that's true. Like, there's nothing to say that when you go up to a room to get your bottles of Formula 86, like, you don't have like a quick, like 20-minute session with her about discussing like sales strategies and like inventory management.
And I mean, she definitely has some other products that you can buy while you're
Clearly,
there.
like we saw the mouse like going
Add-ons.
through her stuff. There were like other potions and stuff on the desk.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point. And probably she has a video series. So
Ooh, I
she
bet
probably
she
doesn't even
does.
do those live anymore.
No.
Yeah.
You probably pay for like a DVD set.
Yeah, maybe she'd already shipped videos to America so that like they'd already be ready for her when she got there, right?
Yeah.
I love it.
One more thing I want to talk about that Molly touched on is the horniness of these witches.
But like unconventional horniness. Like
What's that?
it's an unconventional horniness.
Yeah. There's one witch who is just so horny to watch another witch get blasted away for like questioning. Like all the witches are into it, but there's one that keeps cutting to is like
It's
making
the snake
eyes and
witch.
like moving around. And is that
The
the snake
snake
witch?
witch.
It's Snake
Yeah.
Witch.
Moving around in her seat at just the prospect
Oh,
of this
she's-
witch being laser eyeballed into soot.
Well, and then like when Bruno shows up, like Anjelica can barely contain herself.
Oh, she's writhing.
like
It's like
yeah, like
full body
full
shimmy.
on, like
Yeah.
like just on the verge of just like
Like it almost got, I mean, it was, let's just say tastefully done. But
Yes.
at one point I was like, this is too
This
sexy
is a
a
child,
situation
right?
for standing near a child.
right.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're turning a grown-up into a mouse and you want to get that excited, I can understand.
Sure.
But this
We
is
can all
like
understand that.
borderline.
Yeah, we can all understand that. I mean, that's
You're going to turn some
perfectly.
adults into mice?
Ooh, yeah.
Yes, please.
I'm going to need a glass of water. Yeah, I agree. Like, there was definitely a point. I couldn't tell you the exact second because, like, at first I was just kind of like, LOL, they're just witches. And, like, we'd already seen that, like, they just, like, yeah, with, like, Dan was saying, like, we already seen that, like, they can get pretty heated about unexpected scenarios. But there was definitely, like, a point, I don't, like, literally at a certain, like, amount of seconds where I also was just like, okay, this is a little weird that there's like this little boy just standing here. And Anjelica Huston just like, ooh, you're about to turn into a mouse, and I'm just so excited about it.
Yeah.
Fired up.
Yeah, and to be clear, like she did not say any words. Like it was all just in her body, just like.
No, but also she's like kind of a Muppet at that point, right? That made me think of like, I feel like the Muppets are always wiggling
Well,
around.
that's true. I guess, yeah. Since we established that she's a Muppet, that she was just sort of like embodying that.
Yeah,
body
like
language.
that physicality. I mean, she does have a stunning dress on.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And she like when she reveals herself at the beginning of the speech, like she like has like kind of a cape on and it drops and
Oh,
she's
yes.
like, I'm here.
She's so good at this. Like
It's
she's-
amazing.
It's all a part of the performance, right? Like she's
Like, I saw
selling
it.
a brand.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that brand is the Grand High Witch and
Yeah.
her potions.
Yes.
Can we talk about the other sexy stuff?
There's other sexy stuff. Did I
Yeah,
totally
what's the
miss
other
it?
sexy stuff?
Oh, well, Mr. Bean.
Oh, yeah. We should talk
Oh,
about how hot
I thought
Mr.
you meant
Bean
about
is.
the witches being. I thought there was more horny witch stuff.
Oh, no,
Okay.
that's, I think we pretty well covered that.
Yeah, no, let's pivot to that, Molly.
Well, it's because there's a scene, and I guess you're supposed to not like, they try to make you less sympathetic to some characters than others. Mr. Bean is presented as just being, at first, very judgy about mice,
Yes.
which I think is a reasonable stance.
As the
for
owner of a hotel?
and-
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable.
And
especially
then Grandma comes
Grandma
back at him
fucking
hard with a scheme. He's like, you got to get this mice out of here. She's like, actually, check this out. There's rats everywhere, and I'm going to take you down to the
And
health
I've
commissioner.
seen them.
Go fuck yourself at Norway, Grandma.
And then he makes a very reasonable request, which is, okay, you can keep these two mice. Just keep them in a cage.
Yep.
And don't let them out of the room.
Yep.
And immediately Luke is like, all right, I'm taking William and Mary downstairs to go find some trouble.
Yeah, and Grandma's like, great.
Yeah,
Sure, I didn't want to hang out with
She's
mice.
actively like, okay, don't do it in here. Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because that maid will come back.
Oh, so the maid who
Right.
gets frightened by the mice eventually gets her comeuppance too, although, again, I think it's a reasonable reaction. But there's this little almost throwaway scene where she comes out of the supply room and Mr. Bean is close behind and he says, yes, you can have tomorrow afternoon off. And her hair is
Tussled.
white. Yeah. Tussled.
Oh, yeah. Beth, you want to cue up the theme song?
Did they bang?
Did
they bang?
Did
they bang?
bang?
Did they bang?
Did they bang?
Did they bang?
I think they banged.
Yes,
I also
they
think
banged.
they banged.
Yeah,
Pretty sure.
They'd been banging.
But
I
Molly,
didn't catch the...
They're in a relation.
I did not catch
Yeah.
the perhaps transactional nature, though. I did not catch that line that you mentioned, Molly.
Neither did I.
That is uncomfortable.
I felt uncomfortable by it.
Was
And
he
it's
being
just-
serious, or was he like, yes, this is the meeting that we were having. We definitely weren't sleeping together in the next room.
See, that's in hindsight, that seems like it, but when I was watching it, didn't seem that way at all. It seemed like,
She seemed
thank
like
you for that, and
There's
you're
a-
welcome.
there's a scene later. Well, she walks into the witch's room and she takes some of the potion and puts it on her neck like perfume. And then later, there's a scene where they're in like a back room in the kitchen, and he goes to kiss her neck, and she seems very into it. Like she
she's-
wants it to happen.
She's down to flock.
And
for
then
sure.
he
Got it.
goes
For
to
sure.
kiss her neck, and there's a little bit of fur on her neck, and he's
She's
like,
got mouse
"Ooh."
neck.
And then she's
Yeah.
like, "Wow!"
Yeah.
I
it
was
cuts to the
full
next scene.
Wikipedia around then, so I take your
Oh,
word for
okay.
it. Yeah,
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
that sounds
No,
really
they-
good.
it seems like a consensual relationship.
Yeah.
That's
Although
wonderful.
Still, we got some
Inappropriate.
uncomfortable power dynamics.
yes,
He
absolutely.
is
Yeah.
her boss.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fair.
Which is problematic. But yeah, I read it more as Beth did.
Okay, that's great. I would love to be. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely like still not great, but not as bad as perhaps it seemed at
Right.
first.
He's also like pretty cool about Mouse Neck, actually. He like goes to kiss her and there's hair and he's like, okay, no, and just like kind of leaves but doesn't make a thing about it.
Yeah, he seemed put off by it, but maybe
Yeah,
he's
he's
just
like, I
like,
would've-
well,
okay.
I guess she shaves. It's fine.
I'm gonna deal with that body hair.
Yeah.
Well, and at the end,
Situation
Mr.
later.
Bean is a stone cold murderer.
Oh man,
It
he
is
has had
grotesque.
it. He has had it with these motherfucking mice in his motherfucking hotel.
The ending where all the witches turn into mice is chaos.
Oh, it's
everybody
bananas.
is just screaming. Walls are falling over. Mr. Bean has a bloody cleaver.
Yeah.
People are just like stomping and smashing these mice with everything they can get their hands on.
Yeah.
I mean, I know women screaming at mice is like a trope in movies and books and everything, but like the level that people are losing their goddamn minds over these mice is unreal to me. Everybody's fleeing the hotel. You see people with like half-packed suitcases running out of there in like Bermuda shorts and stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
It's wild.
they aren't just mice, though. They are people who they believe were humans that turned into mice. So if you saw that magic happen in front of you, you'd be like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
But then at the
That's
same
fair.
time, then my question is like the fact that these are humans that turned into mice, like why are they hanging around? Like why aren't they just like getting the hell out of there? Like there's
The
scenes
mice?
where like there's like 8 of them like crawling up someone's leg. It's just like, what are you doing?
I mean,
Oh,
they're freaking
The witch
out.
mice?
Yeah, like this is not in your favor. Like get out of there.
Maybe they're trying to, but
Maybe.
they don't know how to operate their mice bodies yet.
Ooh, you know what it is? I just thought of this. Now they have toes.
Oh,
So
and
they
now they're
don't-
like,
they're
I'm
like-
trying to walk,
like,
but
how
I'm
do
keep
I
going
even-
forward.
I have 4 limbs all with toes. I don't know what to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's why you only trust people in Birkenstocks.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was very funny how one of Grandma's tips was specifically like, oh, they wear a very specific style of shoe. Even though, and I guess maybe that's because she just is so powerful that she can handle it. Like, Anjelica Huston was for sure wearing heels when she was at the convention.
Yeah.
But I guess she's got like super magic witch powers, so she can deal with
she
it.
has like a rubber toes that she can.
Oh, you think she's got
there.
little fake toes to stick in there? I love that.
Toes.
I love
slip
that.
on the end of her foot.
I love that.
People that freaked out at mice is still a topic we're on. Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins, who are Bruno's parents,
Wow.
are awful, but
also
they,
amazing. Right?
They get real mad at being shown a mouse.
Yes.
Like, again, if someone showed me a mouse in a restaurant, I'd be like, no, don't do that.
Well,
But I
and
wouldn't,
also, like, with the
full leap and scream and like throw things.
Yeah, like I get the fact that like the initial premise of the conversation is I have your son and he's this mouse in my handbag. You're already like on edge because you're like, who is this woman and why is she talking to me?
Well,
Yeah,
and
she
she asks to like talk to them in a more private place.
Yes, she tried.
But that wouldn't actually soothe me that much.
No. Well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because she already mentioned it was about their son.
Yeah.
So it's like, that doesn't help.
You would think they'd be more curious, like,
Yeah.
where is he? Let's go find him right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, clearly he's been kidnapped by this woman
Yeah, right.
who is pretending now that he's a
Yeah.
mouse.
If you want your son back, give me 1,000 American dollars.
The smallest ransom in the entire world.
Look, it's Grandma. She doesn't know how much things are worth anymore.
She's like, I just want to Werther's original.
I need to buy enough. I need to buy enough of one more dose of insulin for my mild diabetes.
Yeah, that'll cure it up. I can go buy
it's
a
so
box
mild
of
she
Havana
doesn't even need
cigars.
insulin.
Yeah, what pills were the doctor prescribing?
It's very upsetting.
Just get well pills and go to the seaside.
Well, pills.
Yeah,
Those little
just
helper.
sugar pills that are actually making it worse.
So it's like those are amphetamines, right? I mean, it's like
Just gave her-
right. I mean, like it's a doctor in like the late
A
'80s.
woman doctor.
Ugh.
Wow.
Wow.
Don't forget about that amazing haircut.
Okay, I take
Yeah.
it all back. She had all the
Every
haircuts. She
flavor
knows what
bean
she's
of
doing.
haircuts.
Yeah, those parents were ridiculous, especially the dad, who I guess was probably drunk all the time, right?
Yeah,
He was
he's
a real
got
bore.
drunk. As we talked about in The Graduate, he's got rich drunk dad energy.
For sure.
Yeah.
He also has this weird thing where he's like, he seems to have this thing of, like he clearly thinks he's very upper crust and looks down upon those who are not because he's a real pill to the staff of the hotel. But he also is like, really wants to get in the good graces with Anjelica Huston.
He's horny for her for
You
sure.
think that's
and,
what
like,
it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
His wife senses it too.
Yeah.
But he's
And,
like,
in
he
front of
also,
his wife.
yeah, but he also does seem to like be very interested in the status that she clearly possesses, right?
He wants in on that pyramid.
Right.
Oh, he can smell success.
I know
That's
what
what
you're
it
talking
is. He's like, I can tell you're a woman of ambition.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he was like he was leaning in the door of the convention, but then his wife pulled away before he could hear all the stuff about turning children into mice.
Yeah.
So he only knew that there was this like incredible candy store scheme.
Acquisition.
Yeah.
Which that plan is like not that good.
How dare you?
Don't
I mean,
tell
so
that.
they're gonna like
to the
if the
witches.
goal is to get rid of all children in England, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal, explicitly stated. Every single child is
Yep,
gone.
correct.
They're gonna buy all the candy stores
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and give and poison them over time. Just
No,
feel
it's
like
a grand opening. Everyone's
Okay.
going to show up to the grand opening.
Yeah.
you count on all children in England going to the like I don't know 50 stores you buy.
Sir, children love candy. This is fact.
Yeah. Did they each get 500 doses, or was she like 500 doses total? There are only 500 children
No,
in England.
each bottle is 500 doses.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yep.
Okay.
But like
Yeah,
she definitely put a specific number in that bottle so that if people were moving numbers, they have to come back to her for a re-up.
Right.
Like she's got a plan. Like she is a businesswoman. Yeah, how many candy stores are there? Okay, here's my question for all of you. Do you think there are more candy stores than witches in that room? Or the opposite?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe England is like, oh, only 2 candy stores. The Queen decrees you must have a royal candy seal. And
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could buy. She had a whole crate full of money.
Yeah.
So they could buy multiple stores. I just feel like it's kind of a basic plan.
You'd think that she would be like, yeah, I mean, you'd think that she would just be like, okay, we're gonna branch out from whatever city they're in. I don't know, maybe Brighton. I have no idea. We'll branch out from whatever city we're
in Cornwall.
Ooh, fun fact. And just like I don't know, put it in the water supply and just go across the island in an expanding circle until you've gone through the whole island. But then I guess everyone's a mouse, and then they just live on Mouse Island, and maybe that's not what they're going for.
Sure. The children as mice are just like, they take to it so well.
Like, immediately.
The best attitudes.
Oh, my God. Like, there wasn't... neither of them are even like, what am I going to do with my life? They're both just like, I don't have to go to school anymore. This will be so nice. And like Bruno's like pumped that he found some like garbage cake in the vents. He doesn't even care.
Yeah.
He doesn't even realize he's a mouse.
Luke's just like, oh, I love being a mouse, actually, Grandma. Oh, he's American.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know why everyone keeps on doing that accent for him.
I mean, who cares?
Well, Grandma, I love being a mouse, actually.
Grandma.
Ooh,
Grandma, check it out. I got tiny toes.
Oh, Grandma, I'm going to be such a cool mouse.
Cans, Grandma, cans.
Oh, there was a pram in this movie.
There was a pram.
Pushed down
Cans
the
and a
Ooh,
pram.
man. Huston.
baby danger.
Right?
Moment.
I will say that I did find it very relatable that Grandma was not very expressive and just like aggressively holding in her sadness at the end at the prospect of her grandson being a mouse for all time. That is a strong Scandinavian stock right there.
Yeah.
It's very correct that a Norwegian woman of her generation would not be able to express herself clearly to the younger members of her family, so much so that maybe you're not even aware of the trauma that she's carrying until long after it's too late to ask her about it. Not that I'm getting this from the movie, of course. I'm getting this entirely from the movie. Yes.
Dan,
yeah, it is heavy
okay?
for her.
What?
She has a.
Are you
Molly,
okay?
my parents are divorced, and it's at least partly caused by generational trauma that we can talk about if you want.
It's heavy. Also, like, she has a scene crying on the couch after Luke's parents are dead, which is also like her daughter, right? Like her daughter died. Presumably, we don't really know.
Or is just missing forever? I don't know.
Yeah.
She says after the accident, when she's like, we went to England because I have a house there.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. She really brings it of like, my daughter is dead. And then it's like, I have to comfort this child. And it's a really touching scene of like, we're in this together now, family. Yeah.
It's like a
Grandma.
prequel to the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Molly.
No, I was just having the real revelation that I have enjoyed talking about this movie about 10 times more than I enjoyed watching the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty standard.
There's a lot in the movie.
And this is not a movie they would make today, but they did.
Yeah.
Speak on that, Molly.
That's right. Because I was like, oh, and they would never make this movie today. And then I realized there's a 2020 version that's exactly the same. I don't know.
It's worse.
Is it worse?
What do you mean
Yes.
worse? Like it's like a bad movie, or it's
has
like
Anne
grosser?
Hathaway in it.
Oh my God, that doesn't tell us anything. She was Princess Diary.
She's fine.
she's
I feel like
Princess
this is, if Anne Hathaway does listen to this podcast,
Yes.
just know that I am fully kidding. And I just think you're a mediocre actor. Not terrible. Just this. What is this? Flat? Okay.
She was Rachel Gets Married.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I liked Rachel Gets married.
Rachel's
That's
getting
speaking of
married.
trauma, when that
Yeah,
dad unloads the dishwasher and finds his dead
boy.
son's plate.
Well, because she brought him the plate.
Because he asked for more plates because he was showing
didn't think about it. Anyway.
She didn't know.
I didn't see that movie, but
well, let me tell you, Anne
It's a real
Hathaway
gut
brings a
punch.
lot of pathos to it, but I guess you don't give a shit.
And I guess you didn't enjoy The Devil Wears Prada, also starring Meryl Streep.
And what's
Is
her
she
name?
okay?
Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Anne Hathaway is definitely the weakest part of that cast.
I mean, that's probably true. Oh, except for Entourage. Entourage is in that movie, too. He's the weakest part of that cast.
Yeah.
Oh, what is
that's
even
true.
happening?
What?
Adrian something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brody?
Yeah.
Grenier,
Just, like, phones it in.
Frenier, or whatever.
Anyway,
Anyway, Devil Wears Prada. Check it out. Totes Recall 2034 or something.
HBO Max.
Probably.
REI PepsiCo.
Totes Recall Max? Is that what you just said?
HBO Max.
We're taking over HBO. Oh, I see. What was I
all
saying?
episodes are streaming on HBO Max now of Totes Recall.
Oh, I thought
Really?
HBO Max is only episodes of Totes Recall now. People would be PO'd, man.
Yeah, they would.
Would they? No, they would love it.
I love
I
it.
guess so.
Eat it up.
One of the things in the new Witches,
Oh, yeah.
because it's all CGI, so there's no fun puppets.
Right.
So they take all the puppets out,
That's a problem.
and there's no Jim Henson stuff. And then Anne Hathaway is doing her impression of the character. It doesn't feel like she made her own character. It feels like she's trying to do that character, and it's just you can't replicate it. But it's the CGI that they do for their faces is terrifying because what the witches have in the new one is like a cut that goes from the corner of their mouth to like probably their upper cheek. And so when they talk, they're like talking with their normal mouths. And then when they're in that conference room, they could all open their mouths like from the side of their face instead of from the corner of their mouth.
My goodness.
It is terrifying. It's so scary. Like, I was scared as an adult.
I mean, it
I
sounds
don't know
like
how
maybe...
a kid would watch that.
I mean, what I'm hearing, Beth, is that maybe Anne Hathaway brought such a verisimilitude to that scary raptor mouth witch that you felt true terror.
It wasn't really her so much as the fact that
Okay,
her
fine.
jaw was hinging from her ears.
Well, you know what? That wasn't CGI. That's Anne Hathaway's actual mouth.
Oh no, now I'm going to have nightmares that Anne Hathaway is going to... I'm going to wake up, her jaw's going to be over my face.
Yep.
Blech.
Wow.
And I'll get trapped in a painting.
Ugh.
And please don't. Like, can we just agree? None of us or anyone we know or don't know, just no one gets trapped in a painting.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's make
Teens,
a pact.
Hey. Teens, don't get trapped in paintings.
Yeah.
Look at the shoes of older women, accuse them of being witches, and then run away.
Yep.
Yeah, we all know this already.
Yeah.
That's like a TikTok challenge, right?
That's definitely TikTok challenge. Don't get stuck in a painting.
Accuse old women of being witches in public. Like some fucking influencer would do.
Yeah, it does.
Terrible.
It is.
They do like a backflip off a roof.
Ooh, yeah. Parkour.
We have some other Discord questions. We're going to go rapid fire on these.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
You ready?
I love it.
Yep.
Amanda asks, you mean the Roald Dahl story where the boys turned into a mouse?
Yes.
Yes.
That's it. That's the one.
Yep. Eric asks, so this is a movie of some kind?
Yes.
Yes.
It is of some kind.
ST Giwala asks, the Anjelica Huston witches or the Octavia Spencer / Anne Hathaway witches? Anjelica Huston.
Oh, how was Octavia Spencer? Beloved
She's
actor
great.
Octavia Spencer.
Is she the grandma?
She's great. Yeah, she's the grandma.
Nice.
Great.
Cool.
I love it.
She's the best part of that movie by far.
Well, grandma's the best part of it. Well, that's hard.
I mean, the doctor was pretty cool.
Dr. Woman, the best character.
All right.
Doctor's
and last
definitely-
one. Lost Walrus asks again, wait, what are we talking about?
We're talking about the movie The Witches,
Talking about
1990.
The Witches, starring Anjelica
And
Huston.
exclusively.
Yes.
Exclusively that
executive
movie.
produced by Dan Haig.
Dan Haig,
God
lover
bless.
of Norway.
Lover of Norway, lover of witches. Lover
This is
of
what
mice.
we know about Dan Hay.
Lover of, what else is in this movie? Sandwiches?
Sandwiches.
Lover of cigars?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
A lover of
candle
a
making?
great business opportunity. Honestly,
Lover of owl, a terrifying owl
I
figure.
mean, I know this
in
is a
Kramer's
bit, but
house.
I honestly could see executive producer Dan Haig getting into candle making.
That's a great pastime.
Yeah, that many tea lights like right next to a kid's face
I love
just
it.
seemed Inappropriate to me.
Huga.
Huga.
Oh, Hugh. Oh, you're saying that
Huga. I have no idea.
For listeners who aren't familiar, Hygge is a
I have no idea.
How is it spelled?
Scandinavian?
Danish
Originally. Concept that Minnesotans use to make themselves feel better about how cold and miserable it gets.
Correct.
Oh, I take umbrage with that. I am a big Hjorga believer, and I think it's very effective, and I had a wonderful winter this and last winter lighting candles.
I will double down on that we did embrace it a little more, and it does help to just have nice things around the house during the cold winter months.
And one of the main parts of it is light.
And blankets.
And so but like candles are a big part. And apparently in Denmark, they have like hundreds of candles in their house at a time. Like they just are like, well, now our house is on fire and we're warm.
They're also the people that the Christmas tree has candles on it.
Oh, it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
We just like stand and watch and are amazed that you're not also on fire.
What happens if like your cat freaks out or something?
I don't know.
Well, you can't light a candle tree with a cat nearby.
I don't know.
Or if the tree's just a little too dry.
And if that tree is in a rocking chair, you definitely cannot.
Okay, yeah.
Keep it away from that cat.
Teens
chair?
Don't put
You can't put a tree in a rocking chair. What's this madness?
Sure you can.
Yeah, what's stopping you?
I am just pointing out that nothing would make a cat more nervous than a Christmas tree lit on fire with actual flame on top of a rocking chair.
With a vacuum on next to it.
Yes, exactly.
Stick that in a painting. That's what a cat would do.
Oh.
A cat witch.
The cat witch.
Was that all the Discord questions?
That's all the Discord questions.
Thank you, Discord.
Thank you, Discord users. Patreon.com/Totes Recall. Put in any tier and you will get access to that. And you can ask us hard-hitting questions like, what are we talking about?
The only tier that does not include a Discord benefit is the Michael Jordan only tier. Because we don't want his trash talk in our Discord.
No. It's a place of community.
Yeah.
Right.
Not trash talk.
Come on,
hey, everybody. We have a phone call.
What?
Oh.
That's like an audio Discord question.
Yeah. Ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
Hi, Totes Recall. This is Francis. Just wanted to call and say thank you for bringing this podcast every month. I really want to thank Beth, and I'm in awe of the amazing work that she's done during these times with like remote recording and everything. You guys sound better than ever. So thanks for doing the show every month. It's a little bright thing that I look forward every time. I don't have a big of a commute anymore, but every time I see the message pop up that there's a new episode on, I'm really, really excited, and I'm glad that you're still making it work. So thank you so much. I hope you're having a great day, and whatever movie you are reviewing right now, it is great, except maybe Molly hates it, and sometimes those episodes are better, because then she really has opinions. All right, thanks. Bye.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So
Nailed it.
Thanks, Francis.
Thank
I gotta
you,
say,
Francis.
thank you for thanking me specifically, but also one of the reasons it sounds so good is everyone has quickly learned how to set up their own microphone and record themselves at their own house. So everybody deserves credit for remote recording.
Yeah, but like a little.
Yeah, just a tiny bit, because you still talk us through like we're infants sometimes.
Yes.
It's really nice.
Can confirm.
And we can thank Patreon contributors for our sweet equipment that we're using.
Ooh, that is
now,
correct.
that we didn't used to
That's
have.
true.
I went back and listened to our first podcast, and it was fascinating.
Oh.
Because, oh my gosh, we were doing this exact same thing like 7 years ago.
Yep.
But it sounds okay. But it's really exciting to see how things sound now.
Yeah, I appreciate all of the things that you said, Francis. We appreciate you. But not as much as Dan Haig in this episode. Is that how this works? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Get out of here, Francis. It's Dan's episode.
Oh, no.
How dare you? I will say this is a little hashtag peep behind the curtain. Do we hashtag that?
We do now.
I think this is probably our as close as we're going to get to our 1 year anniversary of recording in isolation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
And yeah, I will echo a thank you to everybody for making it work. And we get these fun Zoom videos. Check out our YouTube channel. There's like Zooms of me crying over a kid pointing his dick. Other stuff.
There's Zooms. There's a recent recording of Dan and I, but especially Dan, getting yelled at for minimizing the performance of actor Catherine Zeta-Jones in the movie. I believe Entrapment. Is that correct?
Entrapment is the official title of that movie.
Yes.
Yes.
It's great.
Catherine
Check it out.
Zeta-Jones is the official title of that actress.
Oh,
YouTube.com.
gotcha. That was a sick burn.
I don't know.
Slash Totes Recall.
Is it slash Totes Recall, or do you just search for Totes
I
Recall?
hope so.
How does that work?
Yeah.
You know, if you go to totesrecall.com, in the
that's
upper
great.
right-hand corner, there's links to all of our social media, including YouTube. So
Ooh,
I
you know
would
what else
just
is
go
on-
through there.
You know what else is on
What?
totesrecall.com?
What's that?
The phone number that Francis used to leave that message.
612
Hey?
089.
Pa-da-doo.
Which of course is just like a fun, you know how some like 1-800 numbers, they just give you like a special word to remember it by to make it easier. Obviously, I shouldn't have to say this, but what that stands for is 612-208-9788. Obviously.
Obviously.
I mean, you subtract what is it? The put-a-do?
Yeah, it's
The last 4 letters.
It's put with 2 T's, like in golf, and then ado, like much ado about nothing.
Right.
But the last T and the entirety of ado don't matter at all, and you can not.
But
type
you
them
do.
Or,
Oh. Yeah. So that's how you
matter a
remember
great deal.
the number, obviously.
Obviously.
It's a flawless system. 612-208-9788.
When I was setting up and plugging in my microphone tonight, I was thinking, oh man, it was a year ago about that Beth was dropping off some equipment
Yes.
for me to use.
Yes, Beth was
Try
like
it out.
Beth was like an Anjelica
medic?
Huston bringing her wares to the door-to-door witch houses so that we could entice and cast the spell of podcasting onto our
See,
listeners.
I would say Beth was more like the grandma coming
that's
door to door
yeah.
to say, hey, listen,
Yeah, that's true.
some stuff's
Your
going to
parents
go
are
down.
dead.
You're going to need.
Yeah, which was not a funny joke, Beth. I can say that now. It's been a year.
Sorry.
It's been a year,
Okay.
and I'm comfortable enough to say to your face that was not a good joke, and I was really uncomfortable.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You got to push boundaries, Dan.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Comedy is about making
Comedy
people
is about making people really just feel like
and just awful.
In an
Comedy is
awful
about
place.
making other people feel awful so you can feel better.
yeah.
And then you
Yep.
can say, it's just a joke.
Yeah. Hey, take
Hey.
your microphone, nerd. God, your parents are alive. Duh. God.
God.
Then she punched me in the face. And
Put it up on YouTube. Everybody
Yeah.
laughed. Got a million hits.
yeah, it went viral, and now I'm the guy who gets punched by
Yep.
Beth.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
Yeah, I guess it was good for the podcast.
Yeah.
That's all that
Well,
matters.
thank you for this heartwarming segment. Thank you for not making it weird, also, Dan.
Yep, you're welcome. If there's one thing I'm known for, it is accepting compliments with complete vulnerability and genuine acceptance.
Yep. Just like a Norwegian grandmother whose children have been killed in a
Yes.
car accident. Probably.
Oh,
Or
don't
some sort
know.
of crazy gala accident.
Oh yeah,
Like
murdered
a chandelier fell on
by
them.
a master criminal in an alley behind
yeah.
the opera.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Batman style.
Yep.
Do we have any more Discord questions?
No. But before we get to our final ratings of the review, we'd like to read a maximum rating review of our podcast, totesrecall.com,
Love to.
in the impression of Anjelica Huston or another character from the movie we just watched. But no reviews, so none of that.
Sorry.
Sorry, Grandma.
And so we'll get to our reviews. The rating scale, as we all remember, is roly-poly witches, which we're pretty sure are pill bugs. They have cute little witch
Yeah,
hats.
they do. Oh, and they could hang out with the mice children.
Aw, they're
Oh my
buds.
God. This changes everything.
Cute.
Dan, you
Yes.
gave it 4.
Yes.
You thought it'd probably be fun, but you couldn't really remember much of it. So who knows?
Yes, I didn't remember much of it at all. I mean, I don't think it was not fun. I was very entertained by it just because it was like way more bananas and way more grotesque than I expected it to be. Like I remembered Anjelica Huston had a Muppet face, but I didn't remember like quite how grotesque just everything to do with the witches was in this movie. I mean, it's still like a pretty just like dumb kids movie where they're like, okay, so we have some Hollywood mice that are going to run around corners, and then we're going to get the kid in the sound booth to record a bunch of exposition over these scenes. And that was like half the movie. So it definitely dragged a little when Anjelica was not lighting up the screen. But I enjoyed how insane and gross it was. So I'm going to stick with 4.
Wow.
Great. Beth, you gave it 3.5. Remembering it was pretty bonkers.
Yeah. I think I actually liked it a little bit more than 3.5. But only half. Ta-da! Full roly-poly witch.
Oh, you've put the two, you've put
yeah.
the sawn in half, roly-poly
Yes.
back together.
Yeah, I think the movie's really like it is dark, but I think it's entertaining, and I really love all the puppets and stuff. I think all that stuff is really fun. So yeah, 4.
Great. I gave it a 3.5, and I just rambled on pointlessly about that. I didn't write any notes, so who knows? But I think I'm going to stick with that. I enjoy that this movie exists a lot. I like a dark Henson children's movie, but not having ever seen it, it like didn't do anything for me on like a rewatch because it's not a rewatch. And yeah, the parts that aren't wild are boring.
I would like to, just before we get to Molly's, I'd like to point out that currently, as it currently stands, there is only one half of a roly-poly, meaning that there is no magic trick, and you have literally just cut a roly-poly witch in half.
Well, all right.
Just throwing that out there, so drum roll.
Yep.
All right, Molly, you gave this a 2. I think because Dan EP'd it, that raised it from a 1 since you were not interested in the subject matter and hadn't heard of it.
By subject matter, you just mean witches? Is that what you meant?
Witches and mice and
Sure.
just the whole thing. Yeah. Oh, brother. All respect to executive producer Dan Haig.
Here we go.
And congratulations on your new candle making career. I hated this movie so much. Like I was trying to decide if I hated it more than Rope or hated it more than Freaky Friday.
Wow.
And to this day, nothing will make me more angry than Freaky Friday, but this came close.
Wow.
I didn't care for how like dark and sinister it was. I didn't care for the ideas it gave me about witches that I did not need. I did not care for someone rolling a pram down a ditch and chasing a child. I didn't care for like all that grandma real talk at the beginning. Like I didn't care for the judgmentalness of some of the characters, and I didn't care for the fat shaming of poor little Bruno Jenkins.
Oh, Bruno.
Yeah.
And I did, however, really enjoy the puppets, the cute puppets specifically. I enjoyed Anjelica Huston's performance. She crushed. Mr. Bean was great.
Should we say the name of the actor, or should we just leave it as Mr. Bean?
I mean,
sorry.
everyone should know we know the name of the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We for sure
Mr.
do.
B.
It's Mr. Bean.
All right.
1.5.
Oh.
Good thing there's another half in
Yeah,
there.
we kept that
Yep.
magic illusion
Yes.
alive of the roly-poly
Yep.
witch.
Yep. I did enjoy the conversation. hated the movie.
Oh,
This
our
conversation.
conversation.
Our conversation.
I thought you meant in the movie. I'm like, which one?
Just the
Lots of
dialogue.
conversations.
Yeah, a lot of talking.
So
I liked how they talked to each other. That was pretty cool.
sure, yeah. I mean, that's always a nice part of a movie.
That was
right?
worth like half a star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you. What I'm hearing is thank you, Dan Haig, for allowing us to have this conversation.
Yeah. No, thank you for making me watch 91 minutes of like just straight. Just no, thank you.
But also thank you for picking a movie that was 91 minutes.
Ooh,
Yes,
yeah.
thank
That's
you.
a good length of a movie.
Hot 90.
And you're welcome for this being longer than the movie.
You got your money's worth, buddy.
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan DeQuette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.